Well, this is episode 651 of Comics for Fun and Profit. And instead of Kyle and Drew, you were with Drew and Mike, or Mike and Drew. I'll give you first top billing. Well, welcome back, Mike.
Oh,
And
thanks for having me. I'm the sixth man off the bench.
there you go. We'll take it. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we've got a few feedback and questions from some listeners, and I thought you could chime in on some of these if you're interested. Jason asks, who would you guys like to sponsor your show? A publisher, a fast food chain, alcohol company, etc. Well, for me, I don't know about your show, Mike, but for me, if somebody wants to write a check for $1 billion or $1 million, yeah, they can sponsor my show. That'd be great. But I hopefully we don't become we wouldn't want like tons of ads and like always be like plugging something. That annoys me in shows.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to like drive your or influence the content. If you could avoid it influencing your content.
Yeah, but for like big money,
Hell yeah.
I'm selling out.
If you could quit your job and just do podcasting,
oh yeah,
you sold your soul right there. You're done.
It's done. It's done. Be sold. Yeah, but yeah, it would be great. I would like Image to sponsor my show. If this was Image Comics presents Comics for Fun and Profit, that would be freaking cool. That would be a dream right there. But they're not gonna do that. How about you, Mike? You got any dream sponsors you'd like, or sponsors at all?
Well, for Geek Brunch, I'd like the Food Network because I've always wanted to combine food with comics.
Okay.
Like I would love to have, like, one of the things that I love to do at cons is to go eat after the con or during lunch with my buddies at a con and talk about comics. So I just think it would be cool to have a sponsor that believed in your show well enough so you could combine the two mediums. I would love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But food and comics don't go together if you're trying to keep them clean.
Yeah, but I've never I mean, you don't have to read. You can have discussion.
Oh,
you don't have
I
to like
gotcha.
pop it open. Although I do remember there was one con we went to, and Chris Campbell, who was my co-host for a while on Valiant podcast and Gotham by Geeks, which I don't do anymore. He had bought some like old issues. Like he has like a really good run of Batman, like just Detective and Batman, going back to like the 40s, and he had just bought like number 20 or something like that. Like it was a valuable comic. We're talking about thousands, and he spilled beer on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're right. They don't mix.
They don't mix. Oh, that would suck. That would be my luck. I would stumble across an Action #1 or something, and then drop it in a shredder. Or something, something like that would happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not opposed.
But at least he's got a good story to tell.
Oh yeah.
He'll always have that. In other words, you might not be able to sell it for what you want anymore, but you'll always have like this personal attachment to that particular book.
How about Mike M's Weekly Reads? Is that a Cheerwine sponsored show?
Yeah, that's a Cheerwine. I love Cheerwine, so that would be a good sponsor.
You found a place in Colorado now that you can get it pretty easily?
No, because it's usually sold out. But there must be a lot of fans in Colorado that like Cheerwine, so I have to fight with 20 other people to stock up on it.
You don't have Kroger out there, right?
We do have Kroger, but it's Kroger is like a main grocery chain that a lot of grocery stores fall under. So we have like King Soopers, which is Kroger.
Oh,
and,
okay.
They don't stock it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a North Carolina drink or something out there, and that's where I discovered it. I actually discovered it at a con. I mean, that was good advertising. They had a booth at Heroes Con, and I was like, "What is this? This is delicious." And then I found out about it, and I noticed a lot of restaurants there had it on tap, which
Yeah.
is even better than getting it in a bottle, in my opinion, especially if it's unlimited drinking from tap. But yeah, I'm addicted to that drink. It's good,
Yeah, you
and it
got me to
makes
try.
a good float. I don't know if you've ever had a, cheerwine float,
I have not.
but it is delicious if you ever get a chance to do that.
Yeah, it reminded me. I listened to your show and had to try some, but it was just at Kroger on the rack, so I just picked it up there.
Yeah,
And it tasted a little bit like Dr. Pepper to me.
it's like it doesn't have like the carbonation of a Dr. Pepper. It's like
Okay.
smooth,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can see that, like a cherry sort of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was good. It was good.
Sweeter, definitely sweeter.
Yeah. Sam asks, with the Hollywood Reporter confirming that we are in fact going to get Something is Killing the Children on Netflix, how high can these prices go? Well, we're well over $100 for the first issue, right?
I think it's scary beyond. Well, I think it's like couple $100.
Well, yeah, I mean raw. I mean,
Yeah, raw.
is it over 200 for
I
raw?
think it's 1,000 and like a 9.8. I think it's high.
Yeah. So I would guess that it'll peak before the show is launches. So, and then after the show is on and it's over, people won't be so
I
enamored with it.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
that 2-3 years after it'll start dropping to some sustainable rate.
Yeah. What is the actual value of Something that killing the children number one in your estimation? Like you as a even if as a key, what do you think it should be? It's 2 years old.
I would
It's a
think
boom book.
I would think it would be $30.
That's exactly like I was thinking
Maybe
25,
maybe graded
35.
120 or something. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
raw.
That seems reasonable, but this is ridiculous. It's kind of crazy heat, but good for people who have stacks of them.
Yeah.
Not I don't have stacks.
I just have my one copy.
Yeah.
I think I have a first print and a second print.
Adam says I'm still a bit lukewarm on Loki. Feels like the whole show is structured around finding out who the big bad is. Will be the big bad will be. I hope they can pull off something satisfying. So far, I feel like WandaVision has the best reveals. What do you guys think?
I agree 100% with what he said.
Yeah. I'm up to I'm current, so I'm 5 of 6. I've watched 5 of 6, and I've enjoyed them, and I think I enjoyed episode 4 the most of all of them. But I've enjoyed the show, but I get it. It's just taken a long time, and we're just like we got one more episode to find out who we're fighting, and into our heroes to win. So one more episode to do that. That's going to be all crammed in there. So it feels like they were kind of spinning their wheels a little bit to get there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I can take it or leave it, to tell you the truth. Like I sit through and watch it and I enjoy it, but I don't like have this, oh, I gotta see what happens kind of, you
Right.
know.
And that's how I felt about.
I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah. Well, are you watching it on launch day?
You
watch it on Wednesdays?
I watched the last one on Wednesday, but that was just because
Mm-hmm.
we sort of marathoned, I think, 3 episodes the prior weekend
Right.
just to catch up because we had just gone back from vacation and we hadn't watched it, so we were like,
Yeah.
okay, let's watch it.
So I don't
And
even.
there's a lot of Easter eggs, like there's a lot of cool things, like you see a lot of Lokis and characters like the alligator and stuff that you've seen. The Voki President Loki, you see
Yeah.
stuff like that
Yeah.
that's in the comics, and
Yeah.
then that's cool. But there's just something about the chemistry. Like maybe it's all the time shifting. I don't know. I just don't get into the plot. Like I would have had a hard time if I was in charge greenlighting that series based on the premise, because I'm not feeling it like as much as some people.
And it does feel a little like they're saying, well, WandaVision was a success by, doing having these adventures, but obscuring who the actual villain is until close to the end. Maybe we should do that again.
Yeah, but I think it like already went through those motions, so it didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can only do so much repetitive things before it
Hmm.
starts to wear
Yeah.
thin, and
Yeah.
it's too close and uh, too similar.
Yeah.
And I think WandaVision did it better because it did it like, well, from my age, it did it better because it did it through like the lens of time periods like the 50s, 60s, like sitcoms. And that was kind of like awesomely refreshing to me,
Oh
like
yeah.
even
That.
from a comedy standpoint. And there was a mystery behind it. Plus, Wanda was like the guy in Dream On HBO. She,
Ah,
with her family, watched TV. That was like something that she bonded with her family to do to decompress. They'd pop open those VHS and watch them and like the releases over and over again, and that was in her mind. So I don't know. I really liked. I That was my favorite, to tell you the truth. The Winter Soldier, Falcon, that was good. Like it was very action packed, but I don't know. There's something about WandaVision that really clicked for me.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's still got an episode to land, to land the ending, and I'll see. Um, but yeah, WandaVision was one that I watched as soon as it released. Like I didn't stay up like really late at night, but I
Yeah.
watched it. I watched it that next day, and I
It could
had.
have it could have been too that what had it going for it is it was like their first Marvel thing, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
yeah.
So
But I
like
mean,
we were hungry for it.
yeah. But Mandalorian had kind of already taught us,
But
like,
Mandalorian's a different, like it's Star Wars. Like
right.
Mandalorian taught us the quality, I think, or
Yeah.
spoiled us in what the quality could be.
And
But
appointment TV, and hey, you
yeah,
better watch it
yeah,
before you get spoiled.
Mandalorian, that's my favorite so far.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it'll blow WandaVision out, and I even like Bad Batch like a lot.
Oh, and I
Um,
haven't watched that.
yeah, so much that I've gone back to Clone Wars and continued where I left off, which was season 4, and I'm almost entering season 5 now. Because Clone Wars it adds so much to those prequels that is so much better in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard that. I I just haven't been able to carve out the time for 7 seasons of animated
It goes
series.
by fast though. Like if you exercise to them or something, because they're like 20 minutes long. So it's like
Yeah.
you can knock out 2 a day if you uh, exercise to the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Now, um, so do you mentioned Harley Quinn off the air. Have you watched that series, all of them?
I've watched the first season, and it's pretty raunchy, and it's
It's like
funny.
super raunchy, right? Like
Oh,
I watched
it's
one
like
episode, I was like, holy moly.
it's like rated R. Like yeah, it's pretty hardcore, and they're gonna have a comic book about it. So I'm kind of surprised because eh, the animation style leads it like you could show it to your kids, like, and then you like watch it and you're like, holy mackerel, this is rated R.
So is Bad Batch one that they released all of them, or is it what, like an episode every week?
An episode every Friday. Like there's
Okay.
one today, so tomorrow morning on the elliptical I'll switch gears from Clone Wars and watch Bad Batch.
And how many episodes is their season? Do you know?
I think we got like 4 more episodes left. I don't know how long it is.
Oh, cool. I'm glad that's good, because that was part of that big Star Wars rollout of all the new properties that they were going to be
Yeah.
putting out. So I'm glad it's a good one.
And I'm not like the guy that likes like to watch animated things. And I feel that I forget that those Star Wars cartoons are cartoons. Like my mind thinks they're real. Like they're so realistically animated that it almost looks like you're watching a video game.
No, you don't even realize. Come on,
Yeah.
really, you get
Yeah.
that? I mean, some like when I watched The Killing Joke, I was like, damn, this is really good animation, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm just like, well, that's not true either, because what was that Miles Morales Spider-Man Into the
Oh,
Spider-Verse?
Spider-Verse. Yeah,
Oh
that
man,
was
that was
really good.
freaking amazing. So, I guess it just depends. It
I'm
depends.
surprised they did Into the Spider-Verse because it came across like really well done, but I didn't think they could pull off that. I guess I didn't think they could pull off like some of the stuff that we've seen in comics, but they I think they successfully did it. In some cases, they did it better.
Oh, yeah, I was super impressed with how well that was. I mean, I had heard good things, but I was like, it's animated. How good could it be? It was
Yeah.
really good, really, really, really good. So
Yeah.
I need to spend more time in the animation arena. Like, because I loved Invincible. I thought Invincible was great. And so
Yeah,
when I
Invincible's another cartoon I just got sucked into that I didn't realize it was a cartoon. I don't know. It's like when I get sucked into it,
yeah, you're right there, because
yeah, I'm right there with the plot.
yeah, that one is one that I agree with you that I was just in that world, and I was just inside the comic. It was well done.
It's so well done that it makes you want to reread it. Like
Yeah.
I've already read it and it's like I want to revisit it now, you know?
Yeah, because they really didn't. I don't know that they went that far through the first arc in that first season. I'm not sure if they made it 6 issues.
Oh, they did it farther, I thought. I thought it was like at least 12.
I'm thinking of Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
Jupiter's
Jupiter's
Legacy
Le-
didn't move very, very
that
far.
that didn't go like that wasn't well received, at least in terms of like Netflix numbers. You could kind of tell by the way it was treated, but I liked it.
Oh, I did
Like
too.
I was engrossed with the time period, especially the flashbacks, because there's something about the 20s that, and the depression that I like really get into, and I liked that it was there.
Yeah, it was way better than how it was treated, I thought.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought so. It was slow. Like I'll give it that. Like it's sort of slow, but if you're into the characters and the plot, you don't notice it as much.
and yeah, I mean that Josh Duhamel's wig is probably off-putting if you don't know the source material, because you're
Yeah,
like, why did they choose that? Well, because read the comic.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was way better than how it was treated.
And there's an incredible fight scene, like when the one guy breaks out of prison and he's like trashing them. That is pretty well done in terms of like film.
Oh yeah.
Like it is a brutal beating. It's like watching a beating in Invincible. Like there's not a lot of action in Jupiter's Legacy, but when there is, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's Patreon time. We're talking about we don't have sponsors, but we do plug this thing incessantly each episode, and we have a couple of things we want to highlight real quick. Eric is donating 4 full sets of their Shadow Man exclusive covers with from Valiant, the Jenny Frison covers. There's 3 or 4 of them. I think there might be 4 of them now. He's going to donate that to the 3 newest patrons, the 3 new patrons, and we still have some slots available for that. So you get in on that and become a new patron, and you're going to get a sweet Valiant prize pack of Jenny Frison exclusive covers for Shadow Man number, I think 3 maybe. It's sweet. It's on the site at shop.cowabunga.com if you want to take a look at the covers themselves. You can take a look, but it's well worth joining our Patreon for, I'll tell you that. And then in addition, for all patrons, including the new folks and existings, there's a contest going on where one of our patrons, Adam, is donating a CGC 9.8 comic, and he has a big list. I can run through it real quick. It changes, but it also he adds new stuff to it. We're going to pull these September, October range. So we'll pull the next one. We've already given away 2. We're going to give away 1 more in the September, October range. But we have stuff like Wolverine number 50, Justice League International 34, Fantastic Four number 1, Batgirl 50, ASM 17, Basket Full of Heads 1, House of X 5, Wonder Woman 761, Red Sonja Age of Chaos number 1, Powers of X number 2, and Batman 98. So there's some great stuff in there. He adds stuff to it all the time that you'll be able to choose from, and this is free to you if you are a patron. So get in on that contest if you feel like it. And another great thing about our Patreon is you get to be a part of our Slack channel and chit chat with us on comics news and related pop culture and stuff that we get in these great conversations all the time. It's nice to have a good community to talk to about those things. So you get to be a part of that. You get early access to a lot of our episodes, and you get exclusive access to many episodes that'll never air outside of that. And because of the patrons, thanks to you guys, we've been able to do interviews and add special episodes that we weren't able to do before, including the newest one coming up soon. Stay tuned for this one. Is an interview with Jed McKay on Batman, or on Moon Knight. Jesus Christ. Jed McKay taking on Moon Knight. So we're looking forward to hearing what Jed has to say about my beloved Moon Knight and what he has planned for him going forward and what his take is going to be. I'm excited to listen to that one myself. It'll be coming out the next week. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, you don't have to be a Patreon member. Of course, you're always going to get our Saturday show, and you do get access to some of these shows, just not as quickly as some of the patrons do. And we have additional swag and other things that we're doing. We're giveaways in the future, as well as some new surprises for patrons as our Patreon grows. So I hope you can be a part of that. And thank you. I think our next thing after that endless plug is we want to talk about the cover price top 20. Would you like to take the top 10 or the bottom 10, Mike?
I'll let you do the top 10. I'll do the bottom.
Sweet. All right. Number 10 is Stray Dogs. Number 1, The Blank. The blank cover. So there are multiple blank copies out there that retain significant value. However, only a few have surpassed a raw market value of $100. This blank for Stray Dogs is one of them. I don't even remember there being a blank for Stray Dogs number 1, but I guess there was. Our guess is that fans of the series might be seeking out their favorite artists to recreate personal favorite horror film posters. Very nice. That makes sense. This has a 7-day trend of about 300% over where it was, and a high raw sale of $150. That's amazing. Sold 12 copies.
Yeah, I've never bought blanks. Like even when I'm all in on covers, I stay away from them because I never have time to get a commission that have gone too expensive too. Especially if you want a full figure in the color version.
I grabbed like a few blanks for artists that were going to be at C2E2 the last time I went, and I was going to like have them sign their comic on the blank cover, and I did that with 1 or 2, and
just the signature, not a sketch as well.
Yeah, well, it's usually a writer that I'm going after anyway. So,
okay.
Like some of them would do like a little sketch, but for the most part, you're right, those commissions are crazy, and they're not doing those for free normally. But yeah, so that's the only thing I've ever used them for. And then there was, no, I don't spec on them though. I never thought about that even. Like
the only one that I bought recently because it looked cool, at least the color schemes, was the Joker one because it had like the green background and the red logo. I just liked the way it looked.
Yeah, and there was a cool blank Rorschach that was neat.
That was the spots, right?
Yeah, so that wasn't really a blank though. I don't really count those as blank. It's like if they're solid white, with just the logo, that to me is the blanks that I don't really see a long-term buy on, but they are fun for cons.
They are. I've bought a lot of blanks with commissions on them, but not having somebody. There were already pre-commissioned drawings. In other words, somebody at Artist Alley drew on it already, and then I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I'll take that.
Gotcha.
A pre-drawn.
Whether it was actually tied to that comic or not, though, it didn't matter. Just a dude. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to like keep it in the family, but I guess you could do that too. Why not? At number 9, we have Stray Dogs number 5, the Forstner and Fleeks horror movie. This is the Friday the 13th homage, and it's still trending and makes a reappearance on the list this week. It sold 48 copies and had a high raw sale of $21.
I'm really happy for Tony Fleeks. I like him. He shows up on the 11 o'clock comics a lot. A really smart guy, and it's like he's finally breaking that barrier of success. Well, he's always had it with My Little Pony, but that's a different like audience.
Yeah.
So now this is more like mainstream.
Yeah, it was a great series too.
Yeah.
Rank 8, we have Thor 617. This has a Loki spoiler within it, so pre-prepared. The speculation turned out to be true as we witnessed the reveal of Kid Loki at the end of episode 4. His first appearance in this issue saw a nice boost in sales and price with 45 copies sold and had a high sale of $450 for a CGC 9.8. And like, if you kind of saw the arc of Kid Loki from episode 4 to episode 5, I can't imagine this is a sustainable dollar for this, right? I mean, I can't imagine they're going to use it anymore.
I think it'll go down. Yeah.
Rank 7, we have Tales of Suspense number 62 from 1965. This saw a spike after the recent Shang-Chi trailer revealed the Mandarin, his 10 rings, and the Great Protector Dragon, and the Abomination. This particular issue featured the 10 rings and the Mandarin's origin, as well as Dragon Axon Carr, who might be the Great Protector Dragon in the trailer. Due to this, it sold 41 copies and had a high sale of 250 for a PGX 8.0, which is a CGC 7. Maybe. Rank 6, we have Black Panther number 3 from 2016. This is the first cover appearance of the Midnight Angels, which is the Strike Force subgroup of the Dora Milaje. Many sellers were incorrectly calling this issue their first appearance, despite first appearing in Doom War number 5. Still, this helps move 42 copies and a high raw sale of $10. So $10, that's cheap. That's cheap. Pick them up.
Yeah.
Rank 5, we have X Factor number 10, the Baldion character design variant from 2021. This issue and all variants were hot this week due to featuring the death of the Scarlet Witch. Seeing how heavily Scarlet Witch is being developed in the MCU, this death may be short-lived. However, this design variant sold 34 copies with a 7-day trend of whatever and had a high raw sale of $30.
Well, the whole death thing is ridiculous if you've been reading the X-Men. They've already killed like Havoc and everybody, and they've been reincarnated. I mean, because of Krakoa. So it's like, I do not understand how this would stick based on the premise. They killed Professor X, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
in like the first issue of X Factor.
Well, in the first issue of Robin, they killed Robin.
Yeah, so it's like, what?
So they do that shit all the time. It drives me crazy.
But the whole premise of Krakoa is resurrection.
Yeah.
They have those 5 X-Men or that can bring back all of the characters. I mean, they've had some weird stuff happen, but I think who died like a bunch of times? It wasn't Polaris. I can't think of who it is, but it's like the many deaths of somebody.
Right.
And they've already resurrected so many times that it's like, how would this even stick? It doesn't make any sense. And then Scarlet Witch is such an A-lister now that you wouldn't want her to stay dead.
No, we're gonna see some more of her in the future for sure.
This is a short-termer.
Yeah,
sure.
Dump it. Number 4, we have White number 1 from Black Mask Studios. This new issue from a re-emerged Black Mask Studios was instantly hot when copies hit the aftermarket. Initially, it was reported that this first issue was limited to 2,500 copies. However, it has been reported that those sales increased significantly due to high demand. Regardless, aftermarket sales are on fire and had a high raw sale of $150. And I have not opened my box from Cowabunga to see if mine's in there.
I got the letter saying that they were limited and you're not getting it. So even though I pre-ordered it months in advance, I didn't get a copy. And why does this piss me off? Because I already pre-ordered 2 and 3, and I don't want 2 and 3 if I don't have number 1. So I'm kind of mad that
allocations are bullshit. Allocations are bullshit. If you
especially
you got a pre-order cycle. That's what a pre-order cycle's for. I give you I'm giving you my promise and my money 3 months in advance. I want that comic. Okay. So print it.
Well, here's what I think. I think that Black Mask probably thought they could do 1,500 copies if they didn't market it as such, like just regularly, like the way they sold Black, and they're basing these off of probably pre-existing numbers of where a book stands. So if they advertise it that there's only going to be 2,500 copies, which is 1,000 more than they probably would sell if they put it out, they limit it, and then all the speckers come in, and then they know it's a limited product, which already ups the value in it.
Yeah.
And then they had a bunch of store exclusives, which are cheaper than this version, which you can probably get a copy, but they're still $40. It's ridiculous. Because I went on and looked to see if I could score a copy
Yeah.
of older version, and of a different type of version of it, and that didn't work out.
I ordered a second print.
Yeah, I have my LCS guy looking to get me a second print, especially if I get number 2. I don't know, because number 2 is limited, number 3 is limited. I don't know what the rest of it's gonna look like.
Yeah. It's like bad idea. I mean, what are you doing? Give me the
Yeah.
comics. At rank 3, we have Black Cat Annual number 1. This issue, Marvel introduces a new South Korean team called the Tiger Division, with a lineup of Black Cat, White Fox, Luna Snow, the General, Mr. Enigma, Gunner, 2, and Anti-Anti. Any new team or character is instantly hot these days. This was no exception, with 64 copies sold and a high raw sale of $30. At rank 2, we have Fantastic Four 273 from 1984. As noted, speculation believes we'll be seeing Nathaniel Richards, aka Kang the Conqueror, in the next few episodes of Loki. While this is still unconfirmed, collectors actively sought after Nathaniel's first appearance in this issue. It had sold 45 copies and had a high sale of $400 for a CGC 98.
This could be another Mephisto, though.
It definitely could. But then who the hell is in the castle?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, it would be a smart thing to do. Like, there's a couple things they could have done with WandaVision too. It could have been a smart thing to introduce the FF. Like, if you do Nathaniel Richards, you kind of indirectly introduce the FF. So.
Yeah. Bring him back in. That's cool. Number 1, we have X Factor number 10. And yeah, wow, the Death of Sky Witch was a huge driver of sales this week. Collectors were clamoring for this surprise development. 142 copies at a high raw sale of 45. And you're like, this is dumb. This isn't going to last, right?
Yeah. Should sell my copy and then buy it back.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. Because I have number 1, I have number 2, I have number 3. I didn't get number 4. I have number 6, I have number 7, and number 8.
So you didn't have 9 either?
I don't have the Stray Dogs. I've been getting the cover A's on the Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
And not the horror film variants.
You're up.
All right. This is the bottom 20. And starting at number 11, you have Fantastic Four 272. This is speculation again on Nathaniel Richards, Kang the Conqueror. While we still don't know how and when this might happen, however, Nathaniel Richards' first cameo appearance sold 23 copies, had a 7-day trend of 207%, and a high sale of $65 for a CGC 92. That's still affordable at CGC. If that does turn out to be a big thing. Kang the Conqueror is supposed to be in the new Ant-Man book or movie. Number 12, we have Stray Dogs number 1, the Silence of the Lambs variant. This series is on fire. The horror homage covers are a huge hit, and multiple covers are rocketing up in price. One of these hot covers is Silence of the Lambs variant. It sold 36 copies, 7-day trend, 133%, and had a high sale of $667.49 for a 9.8. That's pretty high.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the Black Cat annual Gail Sharp 1 in 25 variant of the Black Cat. This is that tiger version that had sold 29 copies, had a 7-day trend of 166% and a high raw sale of $50. That's like way over ratio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Department of Truth number 1, Jenny Frison variant. This is a really nice variant. I liked it. The Department of Truth is officially beginning to trend. This Frison B variant follows a similar trend with Frison's Someone's Killing the Children, #1 cover. It sold 43 copies, had a 7-day trend of 103%, and had a high sale of 150 for a CGC 9.8. And those Jenny Frison covers, you can take advantage of joining the Kyle and Drew's
Patreon, yeah.
Patreon and get a
Yeah.
Frison cover. So
yeah, you're getting 4. You get 4
yeah.
Frison covers, yeah.
So that's a good opportunity. And the one thing that Drew and them don't really talk about, but Valiant has this cult following. And what I mean about Bad Idea has the same thing. They moved it over to Bad Idea. And what I mean about these cult followings is this there's real enthusiastic fans, like incredibly enthusiastic, that feel like they have to like have everything. And that would include like covers like this. So if you did want to join and flip them, you probably get a Valiant fan to buy them. Thor #6, a Nick Klein second print. I think I actually have this because I was going on the second print tangent. This is pretty simple, with Donny Cates moving on to other titles at Marvel. Fans took to Twitter to ask Cates if he would write about Thanos again, and he said, "Just wait." Another user asked if this Thor #6 second print cover was important, to which he replied, yes. That was enough for fans to jump all over this cover, helping it move 32 copies and had a 7-day trend of 135% and a high sale of $120 for a CGC 9.8. How much do you think a CGC is going to cost you for one of these books? After, let's say you're going to send it, so it's shipping, right? And then the cost of CGC, plus if you press it, some more money, plus getting it back. What do you think the full cost is per for a book that's fairly new?
For moderns?
Yeah. Is it like
$30.
30
$30.
bucks, 40 bucks? Wow,
Yeah.
that's still a lot. That's a drop. I mean, that's
I mean,
30
unless you're
bucks plus a long wait list, I hear. I hear a
yeah.
lot of people are this
Yeah.
wait list from hell. #16, Stray Dogs #1. This is the actual Stray Dogs #1. Is really trying to catch. This is everything we said before. This thing's all over the place. And had a high sale of 396 for 9.8, with 41 copies sold and a 7-day trend of 100%. That's still selling strong. And
Yeah.
and you gotta think that these statistics are just from eBay, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't include like Atomic Avenue and all the other sites that are selling these books. Number 17, Spawn's Universe. Yeah, I would have loved to get this because these sketch variants are so cool because it looks like you have an original art piece. And if you're a 90s Image fan, Brett Booth was one of those Image cover artists. And with the heat around Spawn, fawns were all over this issue that sets the table for 4 new Spawn spin-off series. This 1 in 50 is pretty tough to find. It sold 32 copies, a 7-day trend of 98%, had a raw high of 103. I actually think that's a good price, even though normally I think I got from Eric a 1 in 50 for $60. I think these things are well worth it, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Do you think they're gonna stick?
There's so few of them, and the quality of them, it's like you're getting an original artboard. You can't even tell it's a comic unless you look at the edges. That's how beautiful these things are. Yeah, I think Spawn Universe was really, really good. And the Jim Chung pencils, oh my God, they were so good. Number 18, Madame Xanadu #1 from 1981. This is the Vertigo series, I believe. Is it? No, 1981. This is the oh, I just lost it.
It could be that could be um
I have to go back and look at the covers because they have these small images. Oh, that is actual
could,
Madame Xanadu #1. That's not the
that's
Vertigo one.
no, that's not Vertigo.
Yeah. But this is HBO and DC are building towards a Justice League Dark series with last week's announcement that DC Comics has Madame Xanadu series in works with Bad Robot. This news continued to help her solo series trend with 28 copies sold, 7-day trend of 120%, and a high sale of $170 for a CGC 9.6. Good thing I bought that for like $3. Number 19, Spawn #1. I still have like 10 copies of this. For some reason, I had bought a lot of Youngblood #1 and Spawn #1, and I actually sold one like a couple years ago. I was just playing with eBay and said I'm going to sell one. I sold it for $20, but what's to say left of Spawn #1? It has a massive print run. That's why I never thought it would be worth a lot because it was millions of copies. But it's driven by the nostalgia and McFarlane fans. The one thing is he's addictive, man. He's like Liefeld in terms of like if you listen to him, you drink the Kool-Aid. Um, he's like a motivational speaker. Like if you ever go to Facebook and listen to Todd McFarlane speak, he will get you pumped up about his toys or his books or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And when he does the light, like when he draws the light pencil with uh, the digital drawing of it, he
Right.
does those sketches on Facebook. Those are awesome, man. It just shows like his style. I wish he would draw more. Um,
And you're a fan of those image docs
yeah,
that are on YouTube and where else there's Sci-Fi Network, I think, and
yeah.
those when he's on there, it's just fantastic.
But it
You
even
gotta watch.
talks like about like his bankruptcy because a lot of people don't even remember that. But he had a point in his career where he went through a lot of trials because of Tony Twist, an actual hockey player that he turned into a villain, and he lost that suit. And then he had another lawsuit with Neil Gaiman and lost. So he had like a bunch of losses, went through some bankruptcy, and came out of it. He's really a smart business guy, though. Like I think his personality of an alpha led to his downfall in court, but he's a pretty smart guy. And if you're ever in Arizona and you get the chance to go to a Todd McFarlane store, it is awesome. Like his
What town is it in?
toys. This one was like in Phoenix or off of Phoenix somewhere.
Son of a.
So yeah,
I was there. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, his stores are like really cool to see. Yeah, there was one that was even more impressive. I've been to two of them because my brother-in-law is in Arizona, and there was one that he had like dioramas of his toys like set up, like his horror toys, his sports toys. That was an amazing store. The other store that I went to was kind of like a side mall, and it was more like a toy store. But the one with the dioramas in it and stuff, oh, it was incredible. Um, so the last one is Batman 475 from 1992. It's been reported that CW's Batwoman has added Renee Montoya, whose first appearance is in this issue. You got to remember that Renee Montoya was originally introduced in the animated series, though. CW specs trends to be a little iffy these days, but it still sold 18 copies, had a 7-day trend of 146%, and had a high sale of $76 for a CGC 9.8. I would think that a Renee Montoya first appearance is something that won't go down, just because she's been the Question. She's
Right.
sort of a major side character, and she's always in, like, she's like getting to the popularity of Commissioner Gordon and stuff. I don't know if she'll continue her Question ability. She's been the Question, and that now that Charlie's back, I don't know if she'll still remain the Question, but she is a fascinating character.
Yeah.
So
if it's a high sale of $76 for a CGC 98, that means you can get it for less. And if you can get a CGC 98 for less than $50, I say you pop that one right now, because
yeah,
they're supposed to do a Gotham Central show or movie coming up soon. When that happens, I'm sure she'll be heavily featured. And definitely, I think the potential is for this one to skyrocket.
There's two cops that are, well, there's Harvey Bullock. He's a big Commissioner Gordon thing, and he's like a very prominent.
Right. Yes.
But there's, in this time frame, there's Renee Montoya and Crispus Allen. And Renee Montoya became the Question in 52, and then Crispus Allen, in some of those issues, he became the Spectre. So he actually took over for James Corrigan. And if you read Crispus Allen's like Spectre storyline, it is so dark, and I highly recommend it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the top 20, or the bottom 20.
Yeah. So let's slide over to FOC, and we have a new caveat with Marvel transitioning to Penguin Random House. FOC now moves from Monday evenings for Marvel books to Sunday evenings, so at least for Eric. So your mileage may vary with your LCS or whoever you order FOC through, but usually I'm guessing it's going to be the same. So both DC and Marvel are now going to be Sunday deadline publishers, with everybody else on Monday.
Just a sidebar I want to say about this Penguin Random House.
Gotcha.
I have been listening to a lot of like retailers over the last year or two talk about the damages that they get from Penguin Random House, and that is on trades. So I am very curious with a floppy how much the damages are going to be. I personally think that the quality and the shape of books coming from Penguin Random House initially are going to be horrible until they get their stuff in
right
flowing.
And when that happened with preview or with Diamond, a lot of stores would just like take those books and say these are damages, and they wouldn't give, like, if it was in my pull list but all of them were damaged, I wouldn't get that book until it got replaced, right? So I don't know if I want to weather that storm. I think I'd rather just have it. If it's got bent corner, it's got a bent corner. Just give it to me. And then I don't want to wait for books because of a lot of damages myself. Yeah. I would rather have the book than not have the book.
But you're also a reader.
Right. I mean, yeah.
If you were like a true specker that didn't care, like some speckers don't care about the content.
Right.
They really want to flip.
Well, the guy that beats me to the
could potentially kill them, because if the quality gets bad, they have less perfect books to choose from. less
9/8, right?
Yeah.
And the guys that pull out every copy, hold them up to the light, and scan them, and they can, and that's cool. That's fine. I don't have that in me. I don't do that.
You're not. Yeah, it reminds me of the Clerks scene where the guy's picking the perfect egg.
With the egg, yeah.
yeah.
I can't. I haven't been able to do that. I of course, if it's busted, I'll put it back and get another one. But I'm not going to look for a 9.8 on the rack for everything or in my pull list, and go and stare at every one of them. I don't do that. I'd rather have the book than not have the book. Is what I'm saying. So
I'm the same way. Like,
yeah,
because if you are waiting for a damage, they might not give you a damage.
yeah,
Like, I mean, they might not give you a replacement. Sometimes Diamond is already like sold through. So then you have to wait for a second print if there's going to be a second print. That's a risk you take.
yeah, definitely. Eric has featured some FOC items from the FOC list. Some of the things that he's highlighted and pulled out are Joker Presents a Puzzle Box #1. This is a Chip Zdarsky 7 issue. We just got a Matt Rosenberg version of this that I haven't finished yet, so I didn't know. Can't believe they're cranking out another one already. We have Nice House on the Lake #3, the Alvaro.
Well, it is a digital first though.
Oh, okay.
So if you're reading it digitally, you're reading it way before the print.
Okay, so this is the first time the print.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Matt Rose. This is the one Matt Rosenberg's writing then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Nice House on the Lake #3, the Alvaro Martinez Bueno cover. Looks pretty cool. Looks good. We got Batman in the 50s, the trade paperback. That is a sweet looking cover with all the old school Batman on it. And a pretty good deal for only $15 if you get this on FOC. From Scout Comics, we have Lifeform #1 from Matt Mayer Lowry and Cassie Anderson. From Dark Horse, we have Lucky Devil #1. Looks pretty good. From IDW, we have The Best of Casey Jones, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. From Image, we have Me You Love in the Dark. Scotty Young book.
That looks great. I love the cover on that one.
Yeah, that's a great looking cover.
I love the logo, the way it's there, and the girls on the side, and the haunted house or whatever it is on the top.
It's really well designed. Great. Yeah,
it's a great cover design.
Also from Image is Trover Saves the Universe #1. It's a Rick and Morty thing. From Marvel, we have Deadpool Black, White, and Blood #1. See if that hits. And also from Marvel, we have the 5th issue and final issue of Silk. This is the Nites Marvel Games variant.
It's a beautiful cover.
Very nice.
I love it.
Also from Marvel is Spirits of Vengeance Spirit Rider #1 and the Venom Donny Cates hardcover volume 3. So that's what Eric has highlighted. And now let's take a look at what we think is cool on the FOC list. What's popping out at you?
Going through Image, I like, this is a personal thing. I like Geiger cover B by Ordway. I love Ordway's art. That's what I like from Image. I'd also like to point out the same thing Eric did. The Me You Love in the Dark. I think that's going to be a good one to pick up. I highly recommend Radiant Black trade paperback if you want to jump in on a great story. Oh God, so good.
Are you current on that? Did you watch?
Yes. Yeah. How are you up to date on it?
No, I'm one behind.
But I think you read the one that like flipped everything on its butt. That series is so much like Invincible in terms of like shock value.
Yeah.
These Stray Dogs 5th printings. I like the 5th printing of the Stray Dog because it's a takeoff of one of my favorite Dracula movies with Gary Oldman. And they have a 4th print on number 2 that is off of 28 Days Later, which is very cool. And I can't see the number 3 fourth print.
Yeah, they're not showing it.
But
And
there's some good movie ones that, if the movie trend keeps on ticking, I think that these will be hot.
so the number 1 is a Dracula.
Yeah, that's the Dracula. Have you seen Gary Oldman?
Oh yeah,
Oldman?
yeah. I saw
That's
that.
it.
That's very cool. So what is the number 4 fourth print?
That's 28 Days Later.
No, number 4.
Number 4. That one I don't know.
Yeah, I recognize that one. Number 2 I recognize. That was 28 Days Later.
I should recognize it just from the logo, because it's got like the bloody barbed wire, but I don't know what it is.
Now, what is those of you who don't know, Mike has a comic that he finished called The Guesser that is going to be coming to Kickstarter pretty soon, and hopefully he'll come back on and talk about it when he's ready to launch his Kickstarter. But are you doing variants for that? Have you decided?
Right now I don't have one, but I have an idea for one, and
we need to come up with a concept like this.
It is a movie knockoff.
Okay.
But it's a knockoff of. I don't want to say yet because I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah. But it is a movie knockoff, but it's not horror themed.
But yeah, these little concepts, you know, the Dr. Seuss was a big deal with wasn't Ha Ha, what was the other, Ice Cream Man. Those Ice Cream Man covers that were all based on that really blew up with the Dr. Seuss covers. We had Charlie Brown, was that on Savage Dragon?
Yeah.
Really did well. These are doing well. So there's these
people like the old. In other words, they like the retro feel of things that they loved when they were kids. So
I think I want to do one that is looks like a Trapper Keeper. And see how thing's gonna blow up, dude. I'm gonna do a Trapper Keeper and a mullet, and it's just gonna sell.
Yeah, like Joe Dirt mullet.
Anything else from Image that jumps out at you?
No, but that's a lot. I mean, there's a lot, and I of the stuff I'm reading though, Radiant Black is just, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. It's just so good.
I love The Good Asian. It's issue 4 is in here. Geiger, I like Geiger a lot. I love Firepower. It's on issue 14. It's in here. So there's some tons of good stuff. Let's take a look at DC's FOC offerings. We've got.
I know that Commanders in Crisis. I'm not into wrestling, but I know that there's a wrestler that does a variant, and I don't know his name, but I don't know if it's in this batch or not.
Oh, okay.
That might have some worth for people that like wrestling or want to get it signed by the wrestler. So there might be like demand.
Yeah.
But
now I know you talked about getting out of the variant covers game, but DC's got to make it hard on you with like their Batman stuff.
Oh, I'm still in on Batman. So
many.
I'm gonna get that Gabriel Delato.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I like the cover C. I think that's really cool.
I didn't even notice the cover C, but it looks, well, you know how I feel about Luciano Perillo. Like I buy all the Dynamite stuff, so yeah, it's that is beautiful too.
They're killing me. I mean, they just crank out the best covers. I mean, look at the Urban Legends cover C. Oh, that's great. That's great. And even
The,
but
ur-
even
the urban legends in general have been like
yeah,
really beautiful.
yeah. The Nicola Scott cover A is beautiful.
Yeah. And then they have Scout Black Cotton in there. That was the one I didn't care about, which I'm curious to read. Number 2 is Broken Souls Ballad. Just to see where it goes. I'm curious.
I haven't read the first issue of that one yet.
Yeah.
I did read The Conjuring, the first issue of The Conjuring. Have you read
Did
that?
you see the movie? The one
No,
that came to HBO Max?
no, I haven't watched
Oh
that.
God, it was good.
It looked creepy.
It actually is based on a true story, and usually you like balk at that. Like you're
Has
like,
it?
like because a pizza guy came to the door and there was a murder in there, and that it's loosely based. But if you do the research on this Conjuring, it is so close to what really happened in terms of the court
Has it
and
been
what
30
happened
days?
with the
Is it still on?
murder.
Is it still
No,
on?
it just left. We watched it on the last day.
Oh,
I, w-
bummer.
I was so happy to watch it because I was like, me and Barb got into it, and then after we finished it, Barb was like, I'm gonna do research on this. So she just started pushing out all these facts, and I'm
Ah,
like, holy crap! I can't believe how close this was to reality. Um, it was good. I highly recommend watching The Conjuring. I think it's called The Devil Made Me Do It. Um, it was on HBO Max. It should be back on another 3 months or so. That's the way they've been doing stuff.
yeah, yeah. I for a while there, I was like, whatever it was that HBO Max was releasing in the theaters and on their channel at the same time, I was like, I'm watching it because that's like
That's
ten
like a movie
bucks.
ticket,
That's
right?
like a free movie ticket. I gotta watch that.
Right.
And
That's
then
kind of the strategy that I'm doing. I'm trying to watch every big premiere on HBO Max just as
yeah. Did you watch Mayor of Easton on HBO Max?
no, but I heard really good things. Like
Oh, yeah.
I heard it was really good.
Do you like crime and police stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll love it then. It
Yeah.
was great. And they had like two of the I just saw the two of the supporting actresses got nominated. I'm sure Kate Winslet is going to get nominated too. So
Cool.
those Joker puzzle box covers are really great. There's four of them, and holy moly, they're great.
I personally like this Green Lantern #5 Suicide Squad with Polka Dot Man on the cover. Um, I think this movie's gonna be so good. You got the director and writer of Guardians of the Galaxy taking on the Suicide Squad. I just think this movie's gonna be spectacular.
But full disclosure, you loved the first movie. It was like your number one movie.
I love the movie. I'm so biased to the property. Like I
Yeah.
I just love I've read every single Suicide Squad comic ever, and I, I just love the whole premise of it.
How did
The,
what
the,
did
the new series is awesome. It is so good with Peacemaker, and they've already killed like it seems like a dozen members already in the comic book.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Rorschach's almost there. It's almost finished up. It's on 11. It's been great. I think I'll probably have to reread that whole thing when it's collected to enjoy it. I mean, I'm enjoying it as it is, but I think it'll be better in one sitting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rorschach is really good.
those Suicide Squads are pretty nice. And you're a
What
big
else?
Swamp Thing fan, aren't you?
I still doing 2 covers on Swamp Thing too. I like my Swamp Thing.
Yeah, a lot of good DC books.
There's a lot of covers, like you said, a lot of their cover stock books are really nice, and they usually come in really great shape because of the thicker cardstock.
Yeah. And that's coming from Lunar, so they got it figured out, right?
Yeah, they've always packaged good, at least to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
buy an extraordinary amount of comics, more than anybody, but I don't know if they treat me any different than anybody else, but they pack my books really good.
Mike, you buy more comics than some stores.
I believe that. Yeah. Because I actually looked at one point into getting a Diamond account, and I qualified because of the amount of books I buy
Oh
for a
yeah.
pretty decent discount.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can get a Diamond account for only 500 a month.
Yeah.
So but your discount's not great. Yours would probably be pretty good.
Yeah. It's a lot more than that. So
Let's see, Dark Horse. I'm not seeing a lot from them. That Lucky Devil looks kind of interesting to me. Golem Walks Among Us #1 looks kind of interesting.
yeah, and I think this Cyberpunk is still it's something I haven't read yet, but even though it's video game based, it looks so damn cool that I bought it.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Mafiosa was I bought this as a Kickstarter. This was really good, and if you're into the Roaring Twenties, we just talked about it. This is the daughter of a mafia boss, so this is right up your alley, and plus it's got great art in it.
Very cool.
So
Now, when Kickstarters end up matriculating to Diamond, and then regular people can get them, do you like the fact that you were first to read it, or do you like, well, I probably should have waited. I could have got this for $4 instead of 20?
well, in the case of Mafiosa, that came out like 3 or 4 years ago. So um, I feel indifferent. I got it first. What I don't like is when they solicit it at the same time or something like that. The only exception is Hero Tomorrow because I love the guy, so I'm already biased.
Yeah.
So with Bloom and Tap Dance Killer and stuff, when he launches that stuff, you can get it through previews or you can kickstart it, and I choose the Kickstarter just because I love that guy. Plus, I I want to support him, and you can get like 7 covers for I don't know, like $50, and the only 2 covers are in previews, so you get a little bit something extra. But yeah, there's a lot of rules. You asked that question recently, which I thought was a good question for Mike M's, but you asked about what are your do's and don'ts of
Yes.
Kickstarters. So
Yes.
I sort of went through that. Um, it's a good
You'll
question.
you'll answer it on a future episode.
It's on the next one that's going
Ah,
to be
cool.
released. Yeah.
Very cool. Um, let's take a look at what Marvel's FOC has to offer. Avengers is doing World War She-Hulk. I don't think there's anything special there. I'm not sure I'm going to read this Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. I don't know.
I am because I just became obsessed with the character recently, like within the last 2 years. But I think it's gonna be good. Plus, this Kyle Hotz variant is the one I ordered. But I like Kyle Hotz. He tends to do like a lot of horror books, and I just like his variant there.
We have Extreme Carnage Lasher, yet another
Those
rollout.
have historically done well. Anything in the Venom or Carnage world
Yeah.
has always done well longevity wise. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to buy a house or anything, but in terms of getting your money back or doubling it, it's pretty easy. Or tripling it in some cases.
Now we have another annual Guardians of the Galaxy annual. There's been some stuff happening in annuals as we've seen, so maybe there'll be something happening in here. This is also part 7 of 8 of Infinite Fury embedded in this annual, so keep an eye out for that.
I think this Hellions Enoch Lee cover looks amazing. Of Psylocke. I wasn't planning on getting it, but this looks really cool.
Yeah, you have a chance. Immortal Hulk number 49. This is the penultimate for Al Ewing's run. He'll be wrapping his 50 issue run, which will go down as one of the better Hulk runs of recent years, right? Maybe all time. Maybe up there with Peter David's, right?
Yeah, there's Peter David's, which is a favorite. There's World War Hulk. Greg Pak is another favorite. This will probably go down with those two.
It's nice to see Hulk get some love.
Yeah, I hope the swap of characters between these creators and goes well. We'll see.
Got Star Wars Bounty Hunters 15 with another one of those Lucasfilm 50th homages. These are kind of neat.
Yeah, I've been buying the homages. I love these Sprouse homages.
Yeah, they're nice.
I like the Bounty Hunters a lot too. So the fact that these covers, have like is his name Dengar? I've always thought this character is just so cool looking that he's got like his head wrapped up and stuff, and he's been one of my favorite bounty hunter designs. And I just saw him in one of the Clone War episodes with young Boba, and it was really good. It had Bosk and him. I loved it. Oh, and I think this want to mention the Sinister War is number 2's coming out.
Oh.
These are the if you're into the connecting variants, there's the Bagley connecting variant. I think this is going to be fun. This is sort of the end of the Spider-Man run for the current creative team, and they're going to be handing off the reins in issue 75, so should be interesting.
Yeah, and it's going to be like a team, basically a team of writers.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that, but I'll see what they have to do.
But if you look at like what the team of writers did on certain things, like Death of Superman and the most recent Avengers stuff, where it was Mark Waid and Jerry Dugan and all that stuff was amazing.
That's true.
So it depends on the team of writers, and like the current X-Men team of writers, they're not rocking my world. There's like 2 of them that are, but we'll see how they do.
Down at AWA Studios, a studio that I like all their stuff. All their stuff has been really good. And now we have a book by Mark Russell, who I like all his stuff. So I know I'm getting this. It's Not All Robots #1. Don't even care what it's about. But AWA has a good track record. Mark Russell has a good track record. So buy it. It'll be a good read. And then from Boom, taking a look here, see if anything jumps out at me. You see anything in Boom, Mike?
Well, Basilisk is, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I haven't read mine either.
I really like these Magic the Gathering Planeswalker covers, and I'm not even a Magic fan, but they come polybagged, so
Oh, really?
Those are the covers I've been buying. Wonder what this you kind of already went through the all the other creators, right? Uh, this First Degree Crime anthology looks cool from Humanoids. I bet that's going to be good for your, crime noir fans.
Oh man, I do love that stuff.
Because Humanoids is usually they're European comics and they're usually really good.
This is David Walker and
Yeah.
Michael Lark on art. David Aha doing the cover. Oh man,
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
that
I
is
mean,
a
it's expensive investment, but they usually come with a lot of pages and this is hardcover, so um
yeah. I don't see like a page count, but obviously at $30, it's going to be a lot.
yeah, it's a big thing, but usually these take a long time to read and the quality is just like amazing.
Yeah, that looks really good. Elvira meets Vincent Price, #1.
That's
Dynamite.
gonna be fun.
She's still around, but he's long gone, right?
Yeah. I do love my Dynamite. This is one of the hardest cutbacks I've done is
Covers.
the variants because I you've listened to my previews episodes. Me and Bill are like, look at that cover C, and it's like I just love their covers.
I gotta see the photo cover. Yeah.
I love her as like this. If I could meet her at a con, I would pay my $60 or whatever I needed to do to get a picture with her.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love her. I love her.
I love she used to like host like a late night show that had horror, really cheesy B movie horror
Yeah.
stuff, and I always dug that. I always thought that was pretty cool.
So I think that wrapped us up for the FOCs. Well, like we skipped IDW, I think, but that I'll also say these best of cover for Casey Jones. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles um, best of. I, I'm all
Yeah,
over that.
yeah. That's been really fun. So yeah, so this is a packed FOC. Remember that you got to get it in by Sunday for Marvel and DC going forward, and everybody else is on Mondays until eventually they'll probably all all move, and then you'll have like 24 hours with the FOC to figure out what you want to do. It's just a quick window, man. You gotta strike while the iron's hot, but it's still kind of cool to have that option.
It's cool, but man, I think if I owned a store, I would have trouble like dedicating so much time to this.
To fulfilling.
Yeah, because you'd want to get it right the first time. At least I would, based on polls. I don't know. I think FOC is a tough thing too.
Yeah. Let's slide over to the Hot 10 from CBSI, our good friends over at Comic Book Invest. Their #1 book is Tales of Suspense, #57, written by Stan Lee with artist Don Heck. This is a classic comic. All-time highs everywhere on this one. A 5.0 hit $1,500 and a 7.5 hit $3,250.
So glad I bought that like 25 years ago.
I, for one, am one of those that are really looking forward to the Hawkeye show.
I am too, because I think it's gonna be the winner of all of them. I
Wrong.
don't know if I'm weighing
Wrong.
too much.
Wrong. It's going to be Moon Knight. Moon Knight's going to be the winner of all of them.
If Moon Knight's done right, it could be.
It could be. It could be. And he needs it. He needs it.
Because he's got like it depends on how they go. Like I hope it's not too batshit crazy like with
I do
some
too.
of these writers have done. I hope it's a little bit of both, but it balances it
Oh,
equally.
yeah, I just hope it's like rooted in the world of the 1980 series, just go back there. There's a lot of great stories there. Mind that for something. Um,
That's what I prefer
yeah,
because his multiple personalities was mostly him being the taxi cab driver and this
yes.
person. It
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
him like it wasn't him insanity. And in some writers of Moon Knight, you don't even know what's real or what's not sometimes. Like when
Yeah,
Bendis got a hold of him, holy crap. He
yeah, it
thought he was
was.
like every Avenger. It was insane.
It was unrecognizable, really.
Yeah.
But I agree. I do think Hawkeye's going to be really good too. Three have rank two. We have Thor 365, Walt Simonson. I feel like we did this Throg thing a while ago. Do any of you really think this will be a thing? I mean, Loki Gator was kind of cool, but it's not like he could have his own show, right?
He was pretty
Anyway,
funny though.
yeah. Anyway, this jumped from $10 to $15 to $30 to $50. Um, People are crazy. At rank three, we have Inhumans number 5 from 1999. 9/8 are up to $800. This is the Paul Jenkins Jiley book. I can honestly see this going higher in comparison to first appearances of other high-profile MCU characters. Florence Pugh has received nothing but thumbs up for her performance, and I'm actually looking forward to her going forward. Although bringing back ScarJo somehow would still be a good thing. And yes, this is clearly a full first appearance.
This is
Uh,
an amazing series. I'd highly recommend reading. Probably one
the
of it probably is like we were just talking about Hulk series that are this is if you're gonna read the Inhumans, this is the Inhumans I think people should read.
Yeah.
This is a really good story.
Now you are going to Black Widow tomorrow, right?
Yes, I am.
Ah,
Yeah,
cool, man.
I've been going to the movies. I saw what did he call it? Purge, Forever Purge. Oh god, that was so good.
Well, I've
Oh
never seen
god,
a Purge movie.
I love the Purge movies. You know the principle of the Purge, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like every year to reduce population, they let the world go nuts. Well, think of some people decided not to stop. That's the Forever Purge.
Oh, great. I like
Yeah.
that. I like it. They're very inventive. They just keep coming up with them. It's like the
Well, it's
Saw
very inventive
movies.
too. Like if you like reverse the current like the last political situation, you know how they were the last president wanted to lock down our borders and stuff. Well, this is like, well, what if you've inverted and the United States has gone nuts
Yeah,
and
it's locked down.
and people want to go to Canada or Mexico. So yeah, it's oh god, it's so inventive. Like I just loved it.
At rank 4, we have Doorway to Nightmare number 1, David Michelini and Val Merrick. This certainly isn't the character that I would have expected to get her own show. Expect to pay $250 for a 9.4 and $500 for a 9.6. Thanks to Philip Chung for the insight. Was this first Zatanna? Is that what
This
this
is
is?
Madame Xanadu again.
This is the Madame Xanadu. Okay.
Yeah. The first Santana's in like a Silver Age Hawkman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know all this because I have them all. I have almost every DC comic since 1973, except for some of the horror and war I still have to work on and romance.
And you did 73 because that was your birth year?
No, that was the year I started reading DC comics.
Oh, okay. Rank 5, we have Faust number 1, David Quinn, James Brown, and Tim Vigil. This is undoubtedly the oddest option news that I've heard in a while. A cartoon, really, Sony? Have you actually read this story? Anyway, this moved from 10 to $15 to 50 plus. Not for kids.
Yeah, this is I own Faust, and this is beautifully drawn, Tim V. Hill, but it is a nasty, violent book, like extremely bad. So I'm surprised they're doing it
Like
too. This
Crossed
is not.
level?
This is worse.
Worse than Crossed?
Yeah, this pushes. Uh, this pushes the limit in terms of like what they show. Um,
Wow, cool.
yeah, and Crossed you got like a ball necklace and like all kinds of weird shit, but this is pretty violent.
Yeah. Rank 6.
I don't know. Crossed is pretty bad.
Crossed
Depending on the writer.
I miss Crossed. It was so much
Yeah.
fun. Got rank 6. We have God Killer, Tomorrow's Ashes, number 1, the Leela DeLuca 1 in 30 variant. It's $60. This is a Black Mask book. I can't think of another reason why people would be paying that for this. Well, it's a 1 in 30. It's only $60. It's really not that high.
Gorgeous cover though.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of her. I have a commission from her.
She
did a Wonder Woman for me. Yeah.
At rank 7, we have the Trials of Ultraman number 4, the Art Adams 1 in 25. Kyle Higgins writing this. I missed out on this book completely. 35 to $40. I'm sure the print run is low, but this cover isn't great, right? I'm going with the It's a Slow Week rationale.
Could be. He's been doing a lot of Art Adams has been doing like the cover Bs for this series for a long time, because this is like the 3rd volume, I think.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him go up in value, so I don't know what's hot. I mean, Art Adams is a well thought of artist, but I don't know why this one's hotter than any of the others.
Rank 8, we have Stray Dogs number 5, the Shining variant. Sold initially for $20. Now it's selling for $100. These wandering puppies are still on fire, but maybe overkill is the word on these Stray Dog variants. And book's about over, or it is over. So I think cash in, guys. Maybe keep your number 1 if you want, but cash in on all these other variants, I would think. Do you agree or disagree on that?
I would say yeah. They're too high right now.
Yeah.
They're way over market, I think. I think $20 a safe, like what it was good.
Yeah.
But $100, that's sanity, I think.
At rank 9, we have Avengers, the Terminatrix Objective number 1, Mark Grunwald and Mike Gustovich. Near mint copies have risen from $15 to almost $50. It's the first appearance of Alioth, who was in Loki. You can't see this as a long-term success. I do like seeing these old 90s books do well, though. Me too. Rank 10, we have He-Man and the Masters of the Universe number 18. This is a Dan Abnett book. Now up to 150 plus raw, and still very few available for sale. I guess this book is really difficult to find, or everyone is just keeping their copies. Whatever the reason, for a non-variant, it is a top 5 book at this point.
Good thing I bought that for 50% off discount.
And honorable mentions go to Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 47. Last issues were a thing in the 90s, and they seem to be making a resurgence. I was always a big fan of buying last issues, too. This one just had a $40 plus sale, and there are virtually none available. And on our throwback to Phantom Lady number 22, one that Mike does not have.
That's true. But I do love Phantom Lady.
Yeah.
I have a Phantom Lady T-shirt. She was one of the freedom fighters, so
yeah,
I do have cool. I do have some Golden Age Phantom Lady. Not this issue, but she appeared in Police Comics with Plastic Man and the Human Bomb, and one of my goals one year was to get a Golden Age appearance of every member of the freedom fighters, and I managed to do it.
That's cool. Now,
Yeah.
do you when you're picking up Golden Age, do you care about um, condition? Because that really jacks the price up on those.
When I was targeting this, I was looking at fine. So
Oh,
I was around the 6.0 range. I spent a good I spent some money on these.
yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I love picking up 10-cent comics. 10-cent cover comics. Or those are fun. But I don't go after the high grade stuff. I
Yeah,
those
I quality comics is one that I really like to target because they had Black Hawk and they had these freedom fighter characters like Uncle Sam and Phantom Lady and the Human Bomb and Plastic Man and all kinds of different stuff. And those are the ones that I just am a sucker for. So like if you looked at my Golden Age collection, with the exception of Batman #3, I it's mostly quality type books.
oh cool.
Yeah, which DC owns now, but they didn't at the time.
That's cool. Yeah, and you're always also a sucker for those dead publishers.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've finished most of those, haven't you? Chased them down.
yeah. I still got some to go.
Yeah.
There's still to do, but a lot of the main popular ones like Valiant and Malibu and stuff like that, Triumphant, Atlas, like stuff like that I know are dead and I was able to get. Although there's obscure stuff, like there's a romance magazine from Atlas, even though I have a full run. That romance magazine has been very elusive, and when I have found it, it's a couple $1,000. So
Oh Lord.
yeah, so I've stayed away from it, but it is very rare. It's a very rare book.
That stuff is fun. I love collectors who do interesting, unique things like that. Um, it's fun. I like that. I like people who chase like certain things on covers, and that's their collection. I like I'm just like boring, put runs together, complete runs. I like to go after writers and find all their books, but I like people that do fun, interesting things like that. That's cool.
Well, I like doing the boring stuff too. It's fun. Like trying to find like do I own all the Greg Capullo stuff and
Yeah.
finding out I don't have like all the Gore Shriek stuff he does. Even though I have his first Gore Shriek, I don't have all of them. So yeah, I work on stuff like that where I can get like first appearances, and you'd be surprised, like some of them are very obscure titles where
Oh
these
yeah.
writers have done. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you can get like Mark Silvestri, like where he was starting at DC and he was doing like horror books, like House of Mystery and shit like that. So you'd be surprised what you can find.
Yeah, that's cool. I miss some comic database. You used to be able to chase down that stuff pretty easy, find out
Yeah.
what you were missing. I probably should just break down and pay because I really like that site. It was convenient for that completionist in me. All right, let's slide over to our sneak peek at next week and see what we have first from DC coming out on the 13th this week. We have an Action Comics annual. That's interesting.
Oh,
Fifth,
this is from DC, so it's a different place, right?
yeah, Lunar
Okay. Yeah,
Distribution.
I'm there.
Um, Challenge of the Super Sons has its fourth issue. that The Conjuring, DC Horror Presents The Conjuring is going to a second printing.
That's pretty good. That
Yeah, I'm
means
happy
it
with that.
did fairly decent,
I don't know why this wasn't Black Label, and I don't know why Black Label just didn't stay Vertigo, but whatever. Isn't there still a couple Vertigo books being printed too?
They're Black Label,
They're all
but
Black Label now?
I don't think they're. I think the only two that are sort of in that realm are Nice House on the Lake and The Conjuring. Although I would consider the Harley Quinn rated R animated thing.
They should throw that on
They
Black Label.
should throw that a Black Label.
Yeah. The Detective Comics 1039, the Lee Bermejo cover B is freaking gorgeous. City burning behind him, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. I like the Flash one.
Oh, the Brett Booth or the.
It's just sort of like the Brett Booth. It's sort of like the Nightwing where you show all kinds of different versions of.
Yep.
Except it's not the same, like a bunch of Dick Graysons. This is just a bunch of different Flashes or speedsters. They got Max Mercury on there, Reverse Flash, Impulse, Barry Allen, Wally, all kinds of them.
I really dug this Sean Phillips take on Joker #5 back during the FOC days, and it still holds up. I like it. This looks like one of the Ed Brubaker books that he did.
Yes, I agree. That's my favorite of the three, actually.
I love the way that the Nice House on the Lake did a second printing that makes it look like it's tattered and torn up.
Yeah.
That's a great concept.
I love the torn cover, like where you could see the first page.
Yes, that's fantastic.
That's my favorite because I've seen like the cover looking ratted, but I don't think I've ever seen the tear look like that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Now let's take a look at what Image has to offer from their books coming out this week. We've got A Man Among You coming up back with its 5th issue after a while. So this is starting a new story arc. I thought Stephanie Phillips would be busy doing other things, but I guess she found some time for this. That's good.
She's been doing Harlequin.
Yeah, she's been doing a bunch of stuff. Haha's finishing up with.
Look at that cover B.
That's great. Dr. Seuss.
Another Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that's a great one. I think that'll do something.
That's another book that I get all covers of. Haha. This is something I absolutely love. I love this comic. I would have never, if you would have said I'd be reading a comic book about clowns and loving it, I would have laughed in your face.
I would have believed it. I've listened to your stuff. You like a lot of comics, man.
Haha's it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe how consistent it is, though. Like, it's so good on so many emotional levels, I think.
I mean, I like Martin Marazzo's art, but I just think this W. Maxwell Prince guy is like next level.
Yeah, I think he's one of those writers that he's ready for Hollywood, man. Start making bank. That's what I think.
Yeah.
He needs to be on Shudder or something, doing exclusive shows.
We've got Maneaters coming back with Curse #1. Not a lot of people liked this book, but I liked it. I liked the first one. It had some uneven issues, but for overall, I enjoyed that book a lot.
I liked it, but then it got like weird, like advertisement wise and stuff. Like
there was that one.
And there was a lot of prose in it and stuff, so it it kind of lost me.
Yeah. Silver Coin. I really liked the first one a lot, but The last two have been just okay. I haven't loved them. I did love the first issue of Six Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton a lot. Can't wait for this. And the cover B is great. Looks like a TV guide.
Skybound came out this past week.
Hey, I didn't read it.
Haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it could be interesting.
Yeah, it went right back to for a second print too.
In terms of spec, it could be interesting because there's a lot of first appearances in these things.
I mean, I hope it generates some interest in Walking Dead back issues.
Yeah. I know why.
And then from Dark Horse, we've got
Savage Hearts #1.
That does look pretty good. I don't think I've read a lot of Aubrey Citizen that I've liked, though.
This one looks interesting. I'm definitely trying it for sure.
Yeah. Kanto's back from IDW with another book that'll do well, both as a spec book and sales-wise, because the other ones have done really well and surprised me.
IDW's G.I. Joe has been doing good spec-wise too, so
yeah.
Lately, I'm really enjoying reading some old ones that I bought from Aaron Myers that I'm going on a G.I. Joe trying to buy them. They're expensive. I don't know if you've ever looked at G.I. Joe, but if you get into the 120s, till it ends, you're looking at $20 to $40. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it used to. Well, a lot of them were in the dollar bin.
Yeah.
For
now
years.
you can't find them.
My Little Pony reaches issue 100. Hats off to
Tony
that.
Flex on cover B.
TMNT ongoing. What they're doing there with that Eastman cover.
Well, one thing I loved about that came out just this past week is Snake Eyes, and Rob Liefeld got like Eastman to ink like a page, and then like Neil Adams to ink a page, and
over his pencils.
Yeah, there's
cool.
So many creators that inked over him, like Jerry Ordway, Marat Michaels, Ryan Otley. I mean, names that are popular. Philip Tan, Jim Rugg, Ed Piskor. I mean, it's the names just keep on going on, and it is so much fun to look through just to see the different inks. The one that stood out the most is the Kevin Eastman, and you can totally tell it's like Kevin Eastman. Like if you look at this cover B here, you could totally tell that it's him. Like there's a couple of people that you can like see their unique signature in it. He's one of them. Neil Adams is the other. They even have my guy Tom Scholey did a page, which is pretty awesome.
What issue of Snake Eyes is that?
Number 5. It's the last one.
Oh man, that is cool.
His strategy was like to go after like somebody big like Neil Adams to see if he would do it, and then start going like after a bunch of people, and it worked. And it is such a neat experiment, and I hope they do like a director's cut for this, where I could actually see like Rob's
his pencils first.
Rob pencils, and then the inks over them without the color. Like I think it would be an amazing thing to see. I hope they do that. I hope IDW.
So did he have enough that he had one for every page?
Some of them did 2 pages. But they were like double page spreads. Like the Kevin Eastman had a 2-page double page spread, and so did Neil Adams.
Yeah.
The rest of them had like 1 page. I don't know if did you read Red Room? Did you
No, I
buy
haven't read.
that from
I
Oh
bought it.
my
I haven't read it yet.
God, read that. But that's Ed Piskor.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. I mean, we talk about Crossed and all kinds of stuff, but this is the dark web, man, on steroids. Holy crap.
I gotta check that out.
It's crazy good. Crazy good.
Marvel has Aliens Aftermath #1, so I haven't got to read the last issue of Aliens, but looks like they're cashing in on this hit that they have with another one, which is cool.
Yeah, there's something about this one. Oh, it's Dave Wachter. That's what's different. Dave Wachter was doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's done a lot of good. He's a really good artist just in terms of commissions and stuff. I met him through Comic Geek Speak, like early on in podcasting.
Oh wow, back in the
And
day.
yeah, that was like one of my first podcasts.
I think it was everybody's.
Yeah, it was that one and Comic Book Noise, and that's when I became, part of the Comic Book Noise family. But those were the two podcasts that I was listening to before I started podcasting in 2006. So yeah, Dave Wachter. I actually went to a Comic Geek Speak convention, and that was so much fun. They actually had their own convention.
That's
And
amazing.
Dave Wachter was there. They had the Artist Alley, and it was cool. It was really cool. It was in Pennsylvania, so I had never been there before, and we went through Amish country. Like we were driving down roads to get to a certain place, and there were like carriages with horse-drawn things. It was crazy. It was like going back in time.
We have Amish country right here.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
you've not experienced that before, I guess.
I have not experienced it. A matter of fact, I came back from that convention and I was telling Barb, God, I want to live like that for a week just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
No, just to experience it, It was a whole new world. They had have you ever been to Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Yeah.
They
It's right next door.
Holy crap, they had that huge all you can eat buffet place. What is it called? It was amazing.
Wasn't Golden Corral back then, right?
No, it was an Amish
an Amish
all
version.
you can eat, but it was like it was almost like in a Best Buy store. Like it was that big. It was crazy. I went there with a bunch of buddies before the convention for breakfast. It was the biggest breakfast I've ever eaten or seen. It was probably the best time I had at a convention was eating breakfast with my buddies for 4 hours in an all you can eat. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was great. Yeah. Super Show. That's what it was called. Comic Geek Speak Super Show.
That's really cool. I didn't even know that happened. Also from Marvel, we have Web of Spider-Man #1 going to a second printing with a Gurihiru variant. This had some heat earlier because of a first appearance, so the second printing might have some heat.
You know who the first appeirance is, right? It's that kid that was in Iron Man.
Goofy kid from Iron Man and from the end of Endgame.
Yeah, Iron Man 3, one of my favorite Marvel movies. I love that movie.
What's wrong with you, Mike? It does makes no sense. Yeah. So Suicide Squad's your favorite of all of the superhero movies, and your favorite Marvel movie is Iron Man 3.
No, my favorite superhero movie is Joker. Of all time. Yeah.
But it was Suicide Squad before Joker.
No, it was Rocketeer before that. And then Suicide Squad was one of my favorite Marvel Universe movies. DC films.
DC films.
And Joker just whooped its butt. Yeah. I just liked it. I'm not your typical you throw something different that I haven't seen before on film, and I tend to like it more than a homage to something I have already read.
Yes, exactly.
I prefer that.
From Dynamite, we got a lot of Barbarella.
Yeah, Perillo cover on cover Ace. Those are the ones to like gaga over. I like that Daney one too. It looks like cartoony and
Yeah.
like
Oh, still sexy.
Kelly Jones, like sexy, but in a Kelly Jones type like
Yeah.
style. It's interesting.
Cosplay
And then
cover.
you got a Brian Boland Barbarella cover. Like for those of you Brian Boland fans, The Killing Joke, Judge Dredd, any of that stuff, you get a Barbarella really nice cover. Like he did not do a good Superman, but man, when he's doing Barbarella, it looks
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
really good. That is really good. You reading
And
this Dynamite Lives thing?
yeah, this is crazy. This
Is
is
it?
it's kind of like if zombies, it's like Marvel zombies in the Dynamite world. And the first series, they sort of killed like almost everybody. So I haven't started the second series yet, but I'm real curious to see who's left. Well, it looks like Ash is left and Red Sonja, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And you see how they have these FOC bonus ones.
Yeah.
Those are ones that you can only get during FOC. See, I used to be on those.
Yeah, I did some of those and would dabble in those a lot at first, and then they never really panned out from a spec standpoint, so I kind of stopped.
Yeah, I just like them so much.
Yeah, it is tempting, man. I don't know. I mean, you have you get way more than I do, but I have to like I struggle sometimes to like I can't get 7 covers of this anymore. I got to stop. Like with Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting control and getting the situation under control, but I sure have hard time with these dynamites. Not because I think they're worth anything, but
They're
because
just
I like
beautiful.
them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to get over the fact that I'm not putting it up on the wall, so I'm not gonna see it until I go through the box again. So
Yeah. Now down in our back half, no, the word Boom. In Boom, we have Mouse Guard coming back with Alan Caregiver #1.
did you ever read that?
I read some of it. I thought it was pretty. I didn't really
Yeah,
dig the story that much, but I thought it was really pretty art.
it was popular at one time.
Yeah.
I never got into it. The format's weird too. It's not like regular size.
Yeah, it's like a square book.
Yeah. Fifth printing of Berserker, that's insane. Especially when you know how many were returned of the first print. It's just so odd.
Oh, I never heard that there many actually went back.
Oh, there's been memes on Twitter about how many pieces books. It's insane.
Did they have to send them back, or they just ripped the covers off?
I think they just sent them back.
They got paid for shipping then.
Yeah.
Oh well, they got a #1 book out of it. I mean, if we had sales charts anymore, they could have topped the sales charts.
Yeah, I missed those. I missed.
I do too.
I enjoyed. I liked to enjoy seeing how things stacked up. You know, competition, because competition's good. You could compare. Oh, I do want to point out a book because I fell in love with it. This is from Black Mask. It's Alice in Leatherland #1 going to second print. This book is amazing. It's about a.
Where you at?
This is in, I guess, comics and graphic novels.
Oh, okay.
It's like the second thing that shows up, at least on the Previews World.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I
yeah.
went right by it. Okay.
This is Bill picked this book for us to read in this upcoming Sunday, and I was like, well, what is this gonna be? I had no idea, but it's about a girl that writes like children's book, and she's really good at what she does, and she sort of lives like in Yellowstone, and she has a best friend that she works with her on getting her books published, and her friend decides to move to San Francisco, and she says, "Well, come along with me." And the she says, "No, I got a girlfriend. I like it out here. I'm going to stay here." Well, she goes home and finds her lover is in the bed with another woman, and she decides, "Well, the hell with this. I'm going to go to San Francisco." And she doesn't want to seem like a leech to her friend, so she scrambles to get a rental in San Francisco. And if you've watched the news or you see what rentals are going for in San Francisco, a lot of people live there with multiple families and stuff because it's so expensive. She has to get a room with like these sex people that are like a dominatrix and this guy that tortures people, and it's so weird. I liked it so much. It really
Oh yeah,
stood out. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I'm
that's
glad
awesome.
it's getting a second printing, meaning that it there was some demand for it at least.
Yeah, I mean, Black Mask, their first time around, man, I love their first issues. They were all really good concepts and fun, and then
Yeah.
it was just like they wouldn't ship a lot of stuff, so it was tough to follow through with them.
Yeah, this one's already got 3 underneath it, so I don't know if they've gotten past that after COVID, or
Yeah,
they decided they got new editors in charge and said maybe we'll bank on these books after we have them in hand, or I don't know what's happening, but hopefully they've turned that around. I hope.
I do too. We have from Aftershock, we have Bunny Mask #2. The first issue was really cool.
Haven't read it yet.
It was really good, and I'm anxious to see where this one goes.
Cherry Blackbird getting a second print.
Yeah, that's cool. You read tons. Do you ever read manga or European comics?
I read European comics more than manga. I've dabbled in manga. I used to hate it. Like
Yeah,
my brain couldn't um I don't know, process it reading wrong, and I don't know. And then I didn't even know to even read it the right way. Like nobody taught me how to read manga.
right.
So I was just confused. But I've read a couple lately that I've liked. So yeah, I've dipped my toe in, but
Oh, I
I
enjoy a lot of it when I read them. There's too much regular comics I want to read, so I
that's the
can't
way I
really fit
felt.
it
So
in.
I don't get them as much as I was. I'm really curious about these Leave Gleason, man. They've taken forever to come out, but Leave Gleason presents.
Yeah,
The reason I'm getting this is mostly because of Daredevil. These are I love these because they're public domain characters, like Silver Streak,
yeah.
public domain character, Daredevil, public domain character. Plus they have Captain Canuck and Freelance, which were, coming from Canada. I just didn't think these things were ever going to come out, and finally they have 1 and 2 coming out this week.
And we have the Living Corpse Relics #1 from American Mythology. I don't think they FOC, so it's one of those publishers that if you didn't pre-order it, and they usually have small print runs anyway, so watch out for the stuff from them.
Yeah, and this is an encore, so it's a reprint.
Moss #2. I thought the first one was odd. Didn't love it. One of the few AWAs I didn't love.
That's a spin-off though from whatever that one is called. the Straczynski book. They're all related. All the Straczynskis are related to the main
Yeah.
book, Resistance or whatever it's called. The
Yeah.
Resistance.
Yeah. Never Never. It was a heavy metal book. It was a 5-issue miniseries. Heavy metal's really been stepping up their game, I think. They've really been putting out some good stuff.
Yeah, they're always good.
I always like their anthology magazine.
Their anthology, since Tim Seeley took over, I like it so much more than when Grant Morrison was at the helm.
Yeah.
I in terms of liking all the stuff versus the only liking 3 or 4. So that's what I mean by liking it more. I just feel like I like the anthology as a whole a lot
Yeah.
more.
It's a long read.
Ninjak #1 coming back. I'm excited for Valiant. I think that Eric's gonna have some Ninjak exclusives as well.
That's friend of the show, David Nakayama, on the cover A. You been a Valiant all-in guy forever.
I have every single one.
But you do all covers too?
No,
Okay, you stopped that finally.
I never did it.
Oh, you never did that.
So I'm more of I've played with getting some B covers from time to time if they're really good, but I've never been I'm more of a Valiant all in on story. So I want to own the entire world of.
And you even got that one that was like a obscure 4-issue miniseries. That was tough. You got that.
That one pissed me off too, but
yeah,
I paid.
I remember your.
I was angry in Mike M's, and I was just angry in general because I hate the whole concept of. We just talked about it with White. I hate stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let me read it because I want to read it. Don't keep it from my hands,
Exactly. We have No Ghosts in Hiroshima from Scout Comics. That looks like a good first issue. Nottingham's going to a 5th printing from Mad Cave.
Yeah, that's really blown up. I'm glad for Mad Cave though.
Yeah, good for them.
I think the spare parts is going to be this 1 inch. This is this from Behemoth? Yeah, it's from Behemoth. I think this is going to be a really cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's based on a movie. So if just looking historically when they've done things based on movies, that they've done really well.
What, Behemoth's track record?
Yeah. They promised me Darkness isn't a movie, but the other one was with the vampire. They tend to do movies on things that are older, and they seem to do all right. I like Behemoth as a publisher. They're really
I do
good.
too. Yeah, I like some of their stuff too. All right, Mike, it's your choice for your pick of the week. What do you got?
Lots of good things to choose.
Oh man, tough.
I'm gonna go with spare parts.
Okay.
And I'll go with the cover B, which looks like it's an actual movie.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked really good. I like that one too. I think I'll go with Haha #6, the B cover that
Dr. Seuss.
The Dr. Seuss cover. I've picked a couple of Dr. Seuss covers over the years, and I'm gonna ride that bad boy a little bit longer. All right, Mike, thanks for joining us, and thank you all for listening. Mike, you want to give anybody your contact information before we take out of here for where they can find your stuff and check out your podcasts?
Yeah, geekbrunchpodcast.com and dcnoisepodcast.com. Those are the two websites. And my Twitter is the best place to reach me at Mike Myers Brunch. But you can send me snail mail on the email at mike@comicbooknoise.com.
All right. Thank you again, Mike, for filling in, and hopefully we'll get Kyle back one day.
Always fun. Glad I could help out.
All right, man. Take care.
But we miss you, Kyle. You got to come back,
Kyle.
man. You got to get in your home and get situated and bring back your magic to the show and cough.
And your sickness.
Yeah, you're down with the sickness.